It's DMO Speaks, the master motivator, bringing the MIJ, the motivational, inspirational juice from the ATL to you. It's going to be fire. Are you ready for DMO Speaks?
Hello, Atlanta, the ATL. Welcome back to DMO Speaks on WIGO 1570 AM. You can also watch live on WIGOAM.com. That's WIGOAM.com. You know, each and every single week, every Monday, we'll be bringing the MIJ, the motivational and inspirational juice, to the ATL. I get excited about it. So every week as we move closer to Monday, I get fired up to have you with me here in studio on WIGO. You know, every week we're going to be bringing 5 segments to you. One, the motivational moment, where I get to give you my personal inspiration on our theme for the week, our theme that you can carry into your work week. There's extra. My special in-studio guests will make an appearance and come in and give us their expertise on everything that's motivational and inspirational in their careers. There's championship chase. Championship chase, I often say that everybody is running after a title, a championship of some dimension. We want to play that experience back to you by having Antonio London, my great friend from the University of Alabama, live with me on the phones talking all things championships. And then there's Call Y'all, what I consider to be one of the most important segments of the DMO Speak show, as I get to speak to you, my very important listeners, about your stories and your life as it pertains to our theme, or even out-of-the-box discussions that I can entertain for you and answer your questions. And then we try to conclude the show with DMO Speaks with Get Juiced. It's a montage of sorts as we get to run the show back for you in case you join us in the middle of the show and missed an episode. We like to replay that for you live right here at the end of our show on the DMO Speak show. Thank you so much for tuning in, joining me every Monday for DMO Speaks, and we'll be right back with our first segment, the motivational. There's nothing like family. At the end of the day, when the sun sets, that's all you have. Ultimately, that's all you need. A bunch of brothers bleed and sweat together, fought through summer, all the lifting and running for moments like these. Because you don't ever get them back. Thank you guys for your heart and soul. Because that's what you're going to put in it tonight. You're going to do it for the guy to your left and the guy to your right. Because that's all that matters. Guy to your left, guy to your right. You know what time it is. It's time to turn the yellow jackets loose. We didn't come here to play around. Came to take care of business. Responsibilities the coaches have passed down to them. Let every man take his assignment seriously. Let him walk with confidence. Let him handle every moment. Let him stand in the face of the challenger. And don't retreat. Empower these men to do what they came here to do. And we'll sing in the end. We gon' fight! We gon' fight! We can't fight no more! 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 Bleed the wall! 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 Don't get out! We gon' get out! Don't get out! We gon' get out! Don't get out! We gon' get out! Fight some more! 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 Don't get out!
Look, we know that boy's gonna ask again, so let's be ready.
Fine, I'll be him. You ready?
Ready.
Mom, could you hook me up with a Go phone?
You'll run up the bill, son.
Yo, that's whack, Moms. Go phone is totally different.
What? It'll only cost me an arm?
Chillax. It has unlimited talk and text.
Seriously?
Word.
Okay, we'll get a Go phone.
Really? Really? That is the bomb.
Do you even know what the bomb means?
Yes. No.
Go phone, only from AT&T. With unlimited talk to 65 million wireless AT&T customers, and now unlimited text to anyone on any network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Welcome back to DMO Speaks, and it's time now for our motivational moment. Of course, one of the most exciting segments that I get to share my most motivational experience and theme that really takes us into the last 4 segments of the show. And so the motivational moment is designed to really set the tone of the show. And today's motivational moment is called Taking Flight, the process of life. One of my most memorable experiences that I've had in flying took place many years ago. My very first flight. And I got to thinking through the anticipation of the flight, and it kept me up pondering the experience. What would it be like? What would it feel like? Of course, they tell me that these airplanes can fly at 600 miles an hour at the blink of an eye and cruise at 30,000 feet. Of course, that's mind-staggering to someone who's never really taken flight before. But indeed, it was my turn and my opportunity to take to the airwaves. An exciting, exciting venture. But I got to thinking about the entire process of actually driving to the airport and making that departure and not being late even due to fear or concerns about never flying before. Checking my bag and making sure I had the right luggage, going through security check and taking the train from the bottom of the airport to now getting on the escalators and walking to my terminal. What a process. Amazingly, after finding my way and finally getting to my terminal and actually from my depot spot where my flight takes off, then walking through the corridor to actually board the aircraft and looking for my seat and finally taking my seat and now waiting for the flight to take off and then hearing the instructions about what's important and what's safe. And then the taxi to the runway. Now hearing the pilot come over the loudspeaker and talk about being next in line to actually take off from the runway. Before you knew it, the plane is flying down the runway, and then there's the takeoff. And there I was in the air, flying to my destination. It can be a difficult moment for someone who has never experienced it, but indeed I was actually happy. They say the takeoff and then the landing are the most critical parts of the flight. And the time between the two is usually the calmest. I don't know about you, but it wasn't so calm for me, realizing that I was 30,000 feet in the air and flying at speeds of 500 to 600 miles an hour. But indeed, they recognized the between takeoff and the actual landing to be the calmest. But then there's a thing called turbulence or rough air that can take place, and unexpectedly, we're often told by stewardess and our flight attendants that we could experience what we call rough air. And as a part of that information, someone who's never flown before, I was quite nervous. And sure enough, the possibility of rough air does exist, to the point that it reminds me a little bit of life. We check in at birth, amazingly, there's no we taxi with the assistance of parents and family members to the runway of life before we actually reach an age where we actually take flight on our own and go from one location to the next, to another, take off and fly. From time to time we hit rough air in life and find ourselves sometimes in difficult places and how do we manage that experience? And I can come to tell you that when you're in the air, all control is removed and all of your possibilities of landing is in the hands of a pilot and co-pilot who's navigating that aircraft. And it's so that in our personal lives, we tend to want to have that control, but when we're up there, we have no control to think of. It's all in the hands of someone who's been trained incredibly well to fly us from one destination to another. The goal, of course, of every flight is to arrive safely. And I truly do believe that the goal in life is to arrive safely. Such is the process of flying. Such is the process of life. We'll be right back after a short commercial with our next segment called Extra Extra. We were not blessed with an easy path. We never asked for one. Easy softens the will. From humble beginnings, we've put in the work. Knocked down, but we get back up. We pursue the dream. How we respond to adversity defines who we are. We're all an extension of each other. Our resolve is strengthened from the lessons of defeat. Devastated, rebuilt. Our unity was born from necessity, a brotherhood. Our standard defines who we are. We persevered when nothing came easy. Even in our greatest accomplishments, we tasted bitterness. Now I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the hardship and the pain, those are the prerequisites to the greatness we seek. So we pick ourselves up, we move forward, and we learn from our history. We come together, we bond as one. Our bond, unbreakable. Our spirit, relentless. It's in brotherhood we trust. In brotherhood we fight. In brotherhood we rise. We seek something greater than ourselves, the ultimate prize. Rest assured, others will stand in our way. But they can't know. They can't understand our resilience, our resolve. They can't know the purpose that unites us, the standard that we uphold. They can't know the force we've become in brotherhood. It's in brotherhood we trust. In brotherhood we fight. In brotherhood we rise. And welcome back to the DMO Speaks show here on WIGO 1570 AM. Again, I'm so excited that you've decided to join me for lunch here in the ATL. Again, we've had a great show thus far with our previous segment. Motivational Moment was exciting. I hope you took something from it, quite possibly that can be applicable in your very personal life. I so enjoy talking about the motivational moment as I get to motivate people all over this great country. Today, we are now in our next segment called Extra Extra, and I have in studio my dear friend, Mr. John Trimbach, with the aviation world. John, you come from the aviation world, and what great, vast experience you bring, 30 years in aviation. John, thank you again for being a part of the DMO Speaks show today. And thank you. We've been, talking a little bit about taking flight. what does it mean to take flight, and for someone who's actually flown aircrafts, and certainly your training and experience in that field is extraordinary. If you would just give our listeners and our viewers just a little bit on your background, John, and then we'll continue our discussions from there.
Well, I guess it started when I had my 13th birthday, and my parents asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, I want to ride in a plane. So they said, okay. So there I was in a little Cessna with a pilot, and I kind of enjoyed it. So that's what kind of started me down that road. And in college, I wanted to go Navy through ROTC. That didn't work out because they didn't have any slots at the University of Notre Dame where I was admitted.
Oh, wow.
So the first day I walked on campus, I marched right to the Air Force Quonset hut and signed right up for the Air Force. So that launched my career. 8 years of flying in the Air Force.
Wow.
And then in 1989, I was hired by an airline, and that's where I've been ever since, 30 years later.
30 years later. So you got your start there. 13 years old, you start to realize you wanted to be a part of this flying experience. Huh?
That's right.
It's incredible at a young age. So it's not unusual for young kids to have real serious contemplation and thoughts about what they want to do, that it really does exist.
It does. It absolutely does, especially with today's youth who like to delve into video games and the technology and the social platforms. It really does have a lot to do with hand-eye coordination and the new technology and being able to grasp aircraft systems. And a lot has changed in the last several decades. So today's youth have a lot of challenges, but they're also, I think, ready for those challenges.
Wow, how about that? John, I will make a confession that I absolutely am afraid of heights.
So am I.
Which is very odd hearing you're afraid of heights for someone that actually flies aircraft. Is that unusual, or is that pretty common?
No, a lot of pilots have that.
Wow.
But it's not the same thing when you're flying an aircraft and you're up in the front of the airplane. You have a great view, but the sensation of movement is not quite there. It's the same view that you have back in the cabin, so It's not really that much different.
Wow. So John, basically in the Air Force, of course you served our great country. And in the Air Force, I got to thinking about taking flight. So you would say that really was a real pinnacle, a real turning point in your career as you moved into flying commercial airliners for airlines, etc. But was that really where your career really began to take flight, as when you joined the Air Force and became part of that extraordinary team?
Well, being in the military, it gives you a unique kind of experience. So you're presented with a lot of challenges, a lot of aerobatic type flying, things you wouldn't normally do in the civilian world. So that really prepared me for the commercial aviation field, because after several years in the military, you are able to handle all sorts of situations that come up. And you also have the technology progression to help you along. So once I was hired by the airlines, I was ready. I had the experience, I had the hours, and I was ready to go.
Wow. And off to flying for commercial airliners, and certainly, again, a 30-year career is absolutely astonishing, is what it is. I got to thinking about my theme today of taking flight. I consider it to be a part of the process of life, that we take flight in our lives at some point. And when I think about airplanes in the aviation business, it's much like life, that we taxi down this runway, and we get on this airplane and we head to destinations. We go from one site in our lives to another location in our lives, and it's something that's continual. How do you see the flying industry compatible, or you can extract life principles from flying?
Well, certainly a lot has happened since 911.
Wow.
The average passenger has had to go through enhanced security, and just getting to the airplane can be a real hassle. The airline industry as a whole has tried to improve that experience, so that now there are certain ways to mitigate some of the longer lines getting through security, and providing a better flying experience once you finally do get to your airplane.
Wow.
Everything from video entertainment to mood lighting to comfortable seating to air temperature sensitivity, all these things are qualities of a good flight experience that the airlines are really trying to improve to make it more enjoyable, because for a lot of people, it's a hassle to fly. And the more you can do to mitigate the little annoyances that come along with flying, the better it's going to be for everyone.
Wow. And so it does, in closing here, from what I'm hearing, those processes remind one so much of life, that there could be nagging and aggravating things that continue to impact the industry. And as a consumer, we get the opportunity to have to now modify how we fly due to some, either their security, things that gonna make the industry better and safer for customers. And so the flying experience is really unique in and of itself. And a lot of those principles, at least I believe, do mirror the things that we have to do every day in life.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. Your average flight, there's always going to be a little perturbations and problems that pop up, and so you deal with them as best you can. And it is a good metaphor for life, because you try to have a smooth and enjoyable flight. It's not always going to go your way, but you always mitigate it with strategies and life experiences and things that can help you move along.
John, thank you for being a part of the DMO Speaks show today.
Thank you, Derrick.
Thank you for your time.
Welcome aboard Pizza Hut, where our legendary pan and stuffed crust pizzas will fly you to a world of flavors. Taste an all-American pizza sauce, juicy pepperoni, and farm-fresh mozzarella to discover America's mega pepperoni. Or explore the creamy pesto sauce, chicken and mushrooms, and the French creamy chicken mushroom. Fly far above the rest in taste and variety with 5 new pizzas. And thank you for flying Pizza Hut.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Look, we know that boy's gonna ask again, so let's be ready.
Fine, I'll be him. You ready?
Ready.
Mom, could you hook me up with a GoPhone?
You'll run up the bill, son.
Yo, that's whack, Moms. GoPhone is totally different.
What? It'll only cost me an arm?
Chillax. It has unlimited talk and text.
Seriously?
Word.
Okay, we'll get a GoPhone.
Really? Really? That is the bomb.
Do you even know what the bomb means?
Yes. No.
GoPhone, only from AT&T. With unlimited talk to 65 million wireless AT&T customers, and now unlimited text to anyone on any network. AT&T, your world delivered.
I pass through the trees. I leave behind the mountains. I wave in the air. I fly over the birds. And I wish, when I complete my journey, I leave behind a better world. Honda Civic Hybrid, India's first hybrid car with IV-Tech engine. Leave behind a better world.
Man, I dig inner monologues. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, look, a fillet of fish just sitting here in my mind being all delicious. Hey!
That's my sandwich.
What? How did you get in my inner monologue?
Door was open. Give it back.
Man, get your own invisible sandwich.
Any day is a great day for a filet of fish sandwich. And right now at McDonald's, you can get 2 filet of fish sandwiches for only $3.33. For limited time only, prices of participation may vary.
And welcome back to the DMO Speaks show. Here we are now in that awesome segment where we get to talk a little bit about sports in championship chase. Of course, yours truly, who has an extensive background in sports, being a former NFL player with the Falcons, being drafted by the Atlanta Falcons way back in the days of Jerry Glanville. How many of you remember that? The great Deion Sanders and all of those great talented Falcons. And of course, had the chance to play collegiately as well. I look forward to talking sports with you here in Championship Chase. Of course, the whole emphasis here is on championships. That seems to be the biggest thing that matters in all of collegiate and professional sports. Did you win the title? You know, not all of us get the opportunity to win the title, but there's a process to winning it. And here in Championship Chase, I like to talk a little bit about championship opportunities right here in the ATL, even here in the state of Georgia. And certainly, I don't have a problem talking national championships abroad. So I'm excited to dive into this segment and talk a little bit about some of our local teams. Of course, our Braves are right in the middle of competing, starting their season, kicking it off with some great young talent. I heard someone talking the other day calling them the baby Braves, that youth that they have out there with Acuna and all of those teammates out doing incredible things there. Coach, the manager Snickner is doing a great job leading the Braves, and we're excited to watch them out at SunTrust Park. To get a chance, if you get a moment to go and see the Braves play in person, it is an incredible, incredible opportunity. But you know, there's an incredible experience down at SunTrust where you get to experience everything both outside and inside of Braves Stadium. Of course, our Falcons are getting ready here soon for the draft as it is closely approaching here in April. Who are we going to select to help move us to a championship level? Of course, a few years back, we had a great run there in the Super Bowl, and just fell a little bit short. And yours truly, of course, was a big part of being at least a small part of the Falcon experience when they made their run with the In Brotherhood campaign. And I certainly enjoyed doing that work for the Falcons. And we are going to bring and put a great product on the field this year. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones going to be leading that effort. With Freeman returning from injury, are we not excited to get Freeman back on the field competing at a high level? Of course, Calvin Ridley, our newcomer at wide receiver for us, is doing an amazing job. We're looking forward to that combination. And certainly this draft is a big deal. Fired up about the draft as the Falcons get to improve the team through the draft process. We've added some free agents. Very excited about that. So go Falcons. We're looking forward to the kickoff of the season. Of course, our local college team in Atlanta, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I've had the good fortunes of working along with Georgia Tech for now nearly 18 years. What an awesome, awesome institution. We're looking forward to the new exploits of Jeff Collins. They call him the Master of Mayhem. We're excited to see what Jeff Collins brings to the table with the Yellow Jackets. He's unbelievable. We're looking forward to seeing the Yellow Jackets take the field in this new era of Georgia Tech football. So again, I'm looking forward to chiming in every week talking championship chase, and we'll dive into some specifics with our sports teams of the ATL. Excited to have this segment with you every single week right here on WIGO 1570 AM. Thank you again for joining me in Championship Chase. We'll be right back.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happy.
Morning face. You get it when you don't sleep well. This is what happened to Linda.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Ah, what is that thing?
It's me, Linda.
Oh my God, it talks! Run!
No, it's me, Linda from HR.
It looks hungry! Save the children! Save them! Stay back, I've got mace!
Ow, that went in my eyes.
Quit moving!
It's called beauty sleep for a reason. And there's never been a better time to get some.
Get 20% off IKEA Sultan mattresses. IKEA, love your home.
Bottomless fries with every burger, all day, every day, starting at $6.99. Not to get all legalish, but that's like from now until forever. Or until your wife tells you to stop.
Hey, Robin. Yum.
Dinner, dinner, dinner. Every day you have to think of what's for dinner. Well, now Subway has a solution that is sure to please every person you have to feed for that last meal of the day. It's called Dinner Tonight. Every day after 4 p.m., Subway is offering a Dinner Tonight special, which includes 2 regular 6-inch subs, 2 bags of chips, and 2 21-ounce fountain drinks, all for just $11.99. This offer is available all day long on Sundays. Subway of Kodiak. Eat fresh.
Welcome back to the DMO Speaks Show, and we're in our segment called Call Y'all, where I get the opportunity to speak very really excitingly with our guests and our callers who call into the DMO Speaks Show with their questions or comments or thoughts. And we have Deborah on the phone with us. Deborah, thank you so very much for calling the DMO Speaks Show.
Thank you so much for taking our call. We're excited.
Well, I echo that excitement. I am incredibly thrilled for having you way from over in Hinesville, being a part of the DMO Speak Show. And thank you, Deborah, for calling. And again, we couldn't do the show without our callers and listeners, and I just appreciate you chiming in.
Great, great. I have a question for you.
All righty.
Okay, and my question is, how do you take flight with an autistic child with special needs, with intense medical needs? We just need to, what do we do to keep it going?
What a great question, and certainly, you know, any child or individual with special needs, and particularly autism, you know, a special need, unique person is first and foremost the proper medical care and support that is always on the cutting edge, I believe, is important, because there's obviously no substitute for making sure that our children, and not only our children, but the children of the world, get the very best care they need to support whatever their challenges might be. And I certainly know that taking flight, obviously, with something as important or as prominent in our culture as autism is so important to have the right help, the right supervision, the right resources that supports that individual. And sometimes that's not just necessarily looking inward, but looking outward, where those services are most capable of being accessed. So I think first and foremost is to be sure and certain that the right resources and support is in place to provide the needs that are necessary to support that individual.
Awesome, awesome. And I just want to, also when you're taking flight, if you could give the encouragement to parents, because in having an autistic child, often the parents of the children get burnt out trying to help them to manage their medical needs and taking them back and forth to their appointments. So what is something that you can give inspirational word to help the parents to stay together and move forward in the health of their child?
Oh, wow. I tell you, you know, one of the things I can tell you is that, you know, the good Lord gives parents super sensational commitment that really can't be defined by practical or tangible things. I truly believe if you're supervising and raising an autistic child, I don't necessarily think that that's accidental. I do believe that God gives us what and whom He wants, and as a result, He also gives us what we need to support it. And so I believe that though we as humans, we get physically tired, we get strained and stretched as we continue to work hard for solutions and support. And it's natural for a parent to find themselves exhausted or even in some cases discouraged. But at the end of the day, what reminds me at least, and I certainly would offer this to a parent, what reminds that parent of an endless supply of support is the very idea that the individual you're supporting and helping is your very life and blood. And there's no greater support or encouragement than it is to recognize that very thing. And that has no limits, that has no restrictions, and it has, and there's nothing that impedes a parent's effort to do so.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you so much for that. That's so encouraging because I know my husband and I have often prayed together because we don't know the answers. And we're constantly questioning the things that decision we're making, but we're making the best decision that we can possibly make. And just to hear your words of encouragement are so enlightening. We so appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And Deborah, also, you know, there are times when you can take time for you too to recover, recoup, regenerate, and that's a constant process. So don't forget, in all of that, make sure there are small moments where you get to recover as well. And Deborah, thank you so much for calling the DMO Speaks Show.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
O'Reilly. It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The following is an important time-insensitive announcement from Staples. Now, for an unlimited time only, Staples is drastically cutting their everyday prices on hundreds of products your business needs. That's right. The clock is not ticking. Walk, crawl, or lollygag to Staples, and you will not miss this opportunity. These are everyday price cuts. Take a 4-pack of AA Duracell batteries was $4.79, now just $2.99. But act now or later, because these Staples everyday price cuts will be around for a really, really long time. Price cuts like a 2-pack of Scotch Magic Tape, previously $4.79, now just $2.99. And Scotch Packaging Tape, now just $2.29 for today, tomorrow, and pretty much every day till the cows come home. But don't hurry. These everyday price cuts are indefinite. To repeat, these prices will last. So stop by your nearest Staples whenever it's convenient and take advantage of these normal, continuing, everyday price cuts. Thank you.
I pass through the trees. I leave behind the mountains. I weave in the air. I fly over the birds. And I wish, when I complete my journey, I leave behind a better world. Honda Civic Hybrid, India's first hybrid car with iVTEC engine. Leave behind a better world.
And next on Call Y'all, we have Greg from Conyers, Georgia. Greg, welcome to my segment called Call Y'all. I appreciate you taking the time to call into the show.
You're welcome, sir. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Greg. We have a ton of fun on the show as my callers from all over the country get an opportunity to chime in personally and tell their story or share their question, their comment, or even have a word to say about the theme of the show that day, which today we've been talking about taking flight. We had a great guest in studio for our segment called Extra Extra from the aviation world, and he did a fabulous job joining us. So, Greg, I appreciate you calling. I'd love to hear your question or comment.
Just basically have a comment today. Some people may take it as a jab, but I'm a Saints fan, and that's not really like too much around this area. But our question is, what is the Atlanta Falcons doing this season to possibly give us a chance to this next season?
Oh, Greg, you called about one of my favorite questions of the day to talk about the Falcons, huh? So you are a big Falcons fan.
I'm a big Saints fan.
Oh, you're a big Saints fan. No wonder I had bad hearing when you said Saints. But you know, I'll give you that one, Greg. Matter of fact, Greg, my phone almost hung up. I almost lost you. You know, but I think I got you back. Those Saints fans, those Who-Dats, you know, they are troublemakers. You do know that, Greg. I understand. So you got me. So when you said Saints fans, now that I recognize what fan you are, I'm actually gathering myself here now. I'm a big Falcons fan, of course. And Greg, so say your question again. I'm now ready for you.
I just wanted to know, are the Atlanta Falcons finally making some positive moves to at least give us a good game this season?
Well, you know, you guys certainly have done quite a bit over there with your coaching staff, and you know, of course, the great Drew Brees, who continues to never seem to age or lose his accuracy or any of those things. He's an awesome quarterback, and of course, the coaching staff. You guys have built just an incredible nucleus of talent around him to be as successful as you guys have been, at least in the past year, and getting all the way to the NFC Championship game just a year ago, and with a very controversial call that kept you guys out of the Super Bowl. And I know that's a call for another day. But I certainly think, you know, the Falcons are making hay. Of course, we sustained so many injuries on last year that, you know, being a former NFL player myself, I totally understand the importance of having your best players at all times on their feet and competing. And I, you know, the rivalry with the Falcons and Saints go back many years, and that thing goes back and forth, and usually down to the last seconds. Here in the Dome last year, of course, at our Mercedes Stadium, we lost the thing, I think, in overtime to you. So that's always a real competitive battle. You don't always know who's going to win it, but you can be promised it's going to be entertaining. We are going to get back some of our key players in this next year, and we're excited about that and looking forward to a great draft coming up in April. So I think the Falcons will be very competitive with the Saints, no doubt. Okay, all right. It's always, like you said, it's a rivalry, and it's always competitive year after year. No doubt. Hey, just make sure, you know, if you decide not to stay with those Saints this year, you go ahead and jump on the Falcon bandwagon, and we'd love to take you to the promised land. So, Greg, thank you so much for calling. I love the fun of talking about our birds. Thank you so much. All right, you're very welcome, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
Look, we know that boy's gonna ask again, so let's be ready.
Fine, I'll be him. You ready?
Ready.
Mom, could you hook me up with a GoPhone?
You'll run up the bill, son.
Yo, that's whack, Moms. GoPhone is totally different.
What? It'll only cost me an arm?
Chillax. It has unlimited talk and text.
Seriously?
Word.
Okay, we'll get a GoPhone.
Really? Really? That is the bomb.
Do you even know what the bomb means?
Yes. No.
GoPhone, only from AT&T. With unlimited talk to 65 million wireless AT&T customers, and now unlimited text to anyone on any network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happy.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the Wacky Waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the Wacky Waterfall.
It's a shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com, then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Welcome aboard Pizza Hut, where our legendary pan and stuffed crust pizzas will fly you to a world of flavors. Taste an all-American pizza sauce, juicy pepperoni, and farm-fresh mozzarella to discover America's mega pepperoni. Or explore the creamy pesto sauce. Chicken and mushrooms in the French creamy chicken mushroom. Fly far above the rest in taste and variety with 5 new pizzas. And thank you for flying, Pizza Hut.
welcome back again to Call Y'all. So I have on the phone Amanda from Livingston, Alabama. Amanda, welcome to the DMO Speaks show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on.
Oh, that's awfully kind. I do appreciate you taking the moment to call into the show and where I have a chance to speak to my very important listeners and hear their questions or comments that they might have in regards to the show or anything that is of importance in their very personal life. So, Amanda, thank you. I'm all ears.
Well, you're one of my favorite motivators, and so I feel like I'm kind of at a point in my life. I know you're talking a lot about purpose, where I could use some motivation. My husband's a college football coach, and I kind of fell into the role of coach's wife, and everything I thought my purpose or my calling would be kind of fell by the wayside. And so my question is, how do you find ways to really center yourself or find a purpose that is all your own, and not just because of the category life puts you in? I struggle a lot with the pressures to meet expectations of everybody around me, being a mom and a wife, and also a head coach's wife. It's a lot, and I just wanted to know, how do I avoid feeling like I'm regularly letting my own self down in pursuing something that's all my own?
Oh, wow, Amanda. It's a great question. Certainly, to be a coach's wife is no easy task with the demands that the career of coaching requires, which are countless hours and really unpredictable hours and long hours. And certainly coaches have to give themselves and totally get engulfed into that career endeavor. And then a lot of times it seems that the wives of those coaches are not thought about on the front lines, but really the wife is the real difference maker in the life of a coach. And certainly, not without saying that you don't have your own very personal objectives and career goals and ambitions that you enjoy pursuing. I certainly say that, not to surrender those things. Certainly you're there to aid your husband in his coaching career, but still there's the opportunity and time, even raising a family, to have a sense of personal independence where you get the opportunity to still be Amanda and to still be the woman that you get up with every single day, that has purpose and has focus and opportunity in front of. So I think the moment you begin to surrender what is a natural experience of actually looking for what you do best, I think at that moment you lose really the real part of you that really helped make your husband great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your encouragement and what you do for everyone, especially in the coaching world. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much for calling in to the DMO Speaks show. We do look forward to hearing from you again.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
O'Reilly.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Morning face. You get it when you don't sleep well. This is what happened to Linda.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Ah, what is that thing?
It's me, Linda.
Oh my God, it talks! Run!
No, it's me, Linda from HR.
It looks hungry! Save the children! Save them!
What?
Stay back, I've got mace!
Ow, that went in my eyes.
Quit moving!
It's called beauty sleep for a reason. And there's never been a better time to get some.
Get 20% off IKEA Sultan mattresses. IKEA, love your home.
And on the phone, as we speak from Athens, Georgia, is Thomas. Thomas, thank you for calling the DMO Speaks show.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm so glad to be on here. To just chat with you a little bit, my brother.
Oh, you made my day. You know, I enjoy our callers. This segment is one of my absolute favorites as I get to talk to all our listeners all over the great state of Georgia, but certainly not only Georgia, but in neighboring states and around the country. So certainly you as local as Athens, where those Bulldogs are, and I know that's exciting. So I do appreciate you calling into the show.
Well, no problem. You know, it's funny that I get to serve the Bulldogs, but if it wasn't for somebody who loves Tech, I probably would not even be at Georgia. People don't realize that I love the Georgia Tech rivalry specifically because I get to see you on the sideline, and folks don't recognize that. You know, you are my chaplain, and it's kind of funny how the Lord works. Back in 99, 2000 into 2003, you know, you were over with us at Morehouse, and I had no idea that one day I would have an opportunity to serve alongside you, working with a major college team. And I just wanted to call specifically to say thank you for investing in me. Thank you for serving. I can remember when I was just a freshman in college, had no idea what I was getting into. And even before I got to Morehouse, I remember praying that the Lord would put me around other strong believers and specifically around other godly men. And you were an answered prayer. You got us in Bible study. You challenged me in my faith. And by God's providence, 15, 20 years later, now we are not just brothers, but now we're rivals because each fall I get to see you. The last Saturday of the season, I get to see you on the sideline. So it's always fun to mix it up, whether we're between the hedges or down in Georgia Tech.
Thomas, you know, it's hard for me to respond to that. I'm so touched by it, and words don't really come to the surface. Hearing your story and my story intertwine, I appreciate you for all that you've been in my life over the years, and certainly your friendship, and man, the things you're doing in Athens with the University of Georgia is extraordinary. Again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being willing and certainly being someone that made themselves useful and saw the need to reach and mentor and provide services to student athletes. And you're doing it exceptionally well over there at the University of Georgia. So I want to thank you again, Thomas. I really don't have much to lend to that comment you made. It is overwhelming to me, but I receive it well. And please do, whenever you get a moment and time would permit, please call into the DMO Speaks show again. And I know as we move forward to the football season, it's going to be a lot to talk about. So please do that for me, and I look forward to talking to you again the next time.
Absolutely. And hey, I know y'all got a new coach down there too now, so take it easy on us in the fall.
We're going to try. You know how that goes. So thank you, Thomas. Talk to you shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
The following is an important time-insensitive announcement from Staples. Now, for an unlimited time only, Staples is drastically cutting their everyday prices on hundreds of products your business needs. That's right. The clock is not ticking. Walk, crawl, or lollygag to Staples, and you will not miss this opportunity. These are everyday price cuts. Take a 4-pack of AA Duracell batteries, was $4.79, now just $2.99. But act now or later, because these Staples everyday price cuts will be around for a really, really long time. Price cuts like a 2-pack of Scotch Magic Tape, previously $4.79, now just $2.99. And Scotch Packaging Tape, now just $2.29 for today, tomorrow, and pretty much every day till the cows come home. But don't hurry. These everyday price cuts are indefinite. To repeat, these prices will last. So stop by your nearest Staples whenever it's convenient and take advantage of these normal, continuing, everyday price cuts. Thank you.
Welcome back to the DMO Speaks show. Well, we've reached that time of the day where the show is winding up. I do want to take a moment, though, to thank you for tuning in to the DMO Speaks show. What an awesome show we had today with some incredible guests. The extra was fantastic. The motivational moment. I hope you were able to take away something that would be applicable in your very personal life from that segment. The callers who called in today were extraordinary from all over the state and outside of the state as well. As we had a caller today from Alabama even. So excited about our caller segment. as that is growing incredibly. So listen, we're every Monday, if you take the moment to have lunch with DMO Speaks, it'd just be incredible. I appreciate you doing this every single week, joining me here on Mondays. And please, no matter what, remember, you, regardless of where you may find yourself, your life is but a flight away. When it's time to take flight, be confident, be courageous, and be purposeful, and enjoy the journey. Thank you for joining DMO Speaks. Taking flight, the process of life, my very first flight. I got to thinking through the anticipation of the flight, and it kept me up pondering the experience. What would it be like? They say the takeoff and then the landing are the most critical parts of the flight, and the time between the two is usually the calmest. But then there's a thing called turbulence, or rough air that can take place, and unexpectedly, to the point that it reminds me a little bit of life. You check in at birth amazingly, doesn't it? You taxi with the assistance of parents and family members to the runway of life before we actually reach an age where we actually take flight on our own, go from one location to the next, to another, take off and fly. From time to time, we hit rough air in life and find ourselves sometimes in difficult places. How do we manage that experience? And I can come to tell you that when you're in the air, all control is removed and all of your possibilities of landing is in the hands of a pilot and co-pilot who's navigating that aircraft. And it's so that in our personal lives, we tend to want to have that control, but when we're up there, we have no control to think of. All in the hands of someone who's been trained incredibly well to fly us from one destination to another. The goal, of course, of every flight is to arrive safely. And I truly do believe that the goal in life is to arrive safely. Such is the process of flying. Such is the process of life. We were not blessed with an easy path. We never asked for one. Easy softens the will. From humble beginnings, we've put in the work. Knocked down, but we get back up. We pursue the dream. How we respond to adversity defines who we are. We're all an extension of each other. Our resolve is strengthened from the lessons of defeat. Devastated, rebuilt. Our unity was born from necessity, a brotherhood. Our standard defines who we are. We persevered when nothing came easy. Even in our greatest accomplishments, we tasted bitterness. Now I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the hardship and the pain, those are the prerequisites to the greatness we seek. So we pick ourselves up, we move forward, and we learn from our history. We come together, we bond as one. Our bond, unbreakable. Our spirit, relentless. It's in brotherhood we trust. In brotherhood we fight. In brotherhood we rise. We seek something greater than ourselves, the ultimate prize. Rest assured, others will stand in our way. But they can't know. They can't understand our resilience, our resolve. They can't know the purpose that unites us, the standard that we uphold. They can't know the force we've become in brotherhood. brotherhood we trust. In brotherhood we fight. In brotherhood we ride.